My fellow Americans, I'd like to first address you guys. If you get pissed off at this video, you've simply proven China's point. Let's open up the world's mind a little bit and show them what a little bit of good old-fashioned self-criticism can do to lighten up the mood in these dark times. 亲爱的同志们，有一些中国网民不太喜欢我以前关于中国的共产党的视频。我认为更重要的是，你们的政府限制你对外界互联网的访问，但是你却正在非法使用 VPN 观看我的视频，试图捍卫你的政府。你们说在美国批评我自己的国家的政府是不被允许的，好吧？你看。The USA, home of the free, land of the brave. If you're from anywhere else in the world, you may be frothing at the mouth with envy when you hear these three letters. Or maybe you're one of the lucky 300 plus million to have been born in the land of the red, white, and blue. Let's look at how the best government in the world, the freedom-loving and incredibly frugal US government, does its job so damned well. First, education. You know, with all those hard-earned tax dollars being spent, you'd hope America would have the best education system in the world. Whether you think that's true or not, one thing can be said. We Americans certainly have the most diverse system globally. Just look at this beautiful map. If you live in New Hampshire, well, by golly, you just received an education on par with the level of Finland. Kyllä. You want something different? Well, head on down to Louisiana, where you will be at the same level of Kenya. I myself was lucky enough to get a Slovakian level of education in my home state of New York. Niezle. Number 2 is healthcare. You know, big pharma and the healthcare companies are some of the best examples of what can happen when big corporations and government initiatives go hand in hand. Affordable healthcare is our God-given right, and no one can tell you whether or not you should have it. Entrepreneurship is a key element to the American identity, so thank Washington himself, you can buy your own plan without those pesky employers breathing down your neck. It might only cost you $4,000 a month for decent coverage for your family. As the proud title holder for the most painless nation in the world, doctors are able to hand out Percocet and Oxycontin like Halloween candy and create a populace of very comfy citizens who can just sleep the day away. Number 3 is immigration. As a nation of immigrants, this beautiful melting pot of opportunity attracts people from all around the world to show off their talents from abroad. Even though we have two schools of thought here, you know, we have the wall builders and then we have the people who pretend to care about immigrants, I think that the transparent and solid way that the US deals with immigration is one issue that every American can agree and shake hands on. Number 4 is spending. As the richest nation in the world, we gotta have a place to spend all that hard-earned cash. Our incredible government has used those tax dollars for important issues that benefit all of us. From spending $2 million in tax money for a toilet in a New York City park to $518,000 in federal grants to study the effects of cocaine on Japanese quails, the US knows how to make American money work for the Americans. Number 5 is welfare. Say you're down on your luck. You just got hurt at work, laid off, or even worse. Do not worry. We got your back. Because no matter your circumstance, everyone deserves exactly the same monetary possessions as everyone else. You are special. You can do it. You can do anything. The welfare system of the US is unparalleled in its reach. Government programs and handouts simply crush charity in their effectiveness, and even teach the less fortunate the importance of getting that vitamin D in the great outdoors. 550,000 people couldn't agree more. Next is incarceration. In this land of the free, sometimes the scope of what you can do can be a little bit overwhelming. Not to worry. The very functional incarceration system of the US houses over 2.2 million citizens in absolute luxury, and it gives them plenty of time to think about where they took it a little too far. Once they get out, their job prospects are even better when they went in, having learnt the skills necessary to be upstanding citizens in the future. Next comes transportation and infrastructure. You know, the open road. You hear people say, "You could eat off this asphalt." Well, thank the Lord himself that the USA has some of the best maintained roads in the world. You might look at your state and say, gee willikers, I'm paying a lot of taxes for this road network. But when you see what those tax dollars do, it all starts to make sense. Driving not your thing? Simply traverse this great nation and get where you need to go on one of our very affordable and expansive rail networks. Not a Thomas fan? How about hopping on a plane? Our great American airlines are the envy of the world. Next is safety and guns. Thanks to the transparency of crime maps, it's very easy to avoid high crime areas and keep your family safe. You worried about guns? Well, it's true that every God-fearing American citizen has at least 234 firearms in their arsenal, but guns are not what you should be worried about. You see, when you're born in a red state, you're gifted a holster, and the nurses themselves make sure you can shoot a Pabst can off a donkey's ass the moment you take your first breath. If you miss, your family gets a ticket to one of them blue states where you don't have to worry about guns. Those mass shootings that you hear about are always covered by the media with the utmost integrity by making that shooter the most famous person in the country, just as a warning to other future shooters that they will also become just as famous, if not more. Next is force political correctness through law. America is a safe space. We've covered all the bases. If you're an African American, you do not have to worry about anyone appropriating your nail length. If you're a Latina, don't worry about non-Latinas having skinny eyebrows. You're protected. If you're a preschooler, you won't be disempowered by small chairs any longer. If you're an Asian American, you don't need to worry about people using disgusting and offensive phrases such as long time no see. Even programmers are safe, as it's now inappropriate to refer to them as coders. The internet isn't written in code, that's exclusionary. The internet is written by a community. Followers of Hinduism do not need to stress themselves out with heartless phrases like YOLO. Non-Christians don't need to hear disgusting phrases such as God bless you after sneezing, and even people who have suffered through illness are safe, as polio victims are now referred to as polio survivors. As a hermaphrodite dinosaur myself, I relish in the fact that no one can tell me who or what I should be.